Well, welcome to today's show. We're doing something different. We're broadcasting from Coffee Central in South Haven. It's a full-service coffee house located in the heart of Snowden Grove. If you've never been here before, you are missing out on one of DeSoto County's best-kept secrets where coffee and community meet. Hi, friends. I'm Byron Tyler. So glad that we could get together this afternoon from Coffee Central. You know, since 1885, the Women's Exchange of Memphis has been a cornerstone of empowerment, creativity, and community impact. And now what began as a place where women could sell handmade goods to support their families has really blossomed into a vibrant retail hub that showcases the talents of hundreds of local artisans, seamstresses, and I mean, it's just full of so much. It's a big surprise for many folks. At the heart of this mission is a simple but powerful belief that everyone deserves the opportunity to earn a decent living through their craft. I love this. That's why Dena Nance is here with us from the Women's Exchange of Memphis. Dena, you are the executive director. Hi, welcome to the show.
Hi, Byron. This is such a pleasure to be part of this show and to be able to share this wonderful mission. We just turned 65 years old in the location we're in on Racine Street. Well, like you said, we go back to 1885. I don't think either one of us were here then, were we?
I know I wasn't, you know. Sometimes I feel like I was. But seriously, no, this is really exciting. I don't think a lot of folks realize that you have this longevity in the history there.
It's amazing. When we talk about the Women's Exchange and the Federation of Women's Exchanges, which are actually located in other cities around the country, there's a few of us left, and the impact that we've had not only for the individual artists, crafters, makers that are earning a living from our ability to run the marketplace, but also really the impact that we have in our community around us. We're a community hub. Yep. We're a place where people come to have a great meal. Everybody loves those turnip greens and catfish and Rev's tenderloin on Thursdays, beef dips on Mondays. But besides the wonderful meal, there's events that happen. We've got really important conversations and meetings and decisions that are made to further the Memphis community that happen right in our own space.
Right. And you mentioned food, and I don't think some folks realize that there are these delicious meals, and it is a great place to meet a friend for lunch. And you don't have to be a female to go to the Women's Exchange, right?
Not at all. We have so many men. Like I said, that tenderloin on Thursday certainly brings them in. A little meat and potatoes. That'll do it every time. But at the same time, our tea room is something that even I personally mistook. I thought it was just a small little scoop of chicken salad, maybe a little side cup of fruit. Little did I know that our chef and his team had come over from Memphis Country Club almost 30 years ago and have been putting out some of the best soul food in town, right from 88 Racine Street, that little tiny little street tucked behind Amro Music between Poplar and Walnut Grove.
Yes.
It is right there, and it is. I don't have a problem telling everybody it's the best lunch in town.
I think it is, and I've been doing this basically on the rumors I've heard is good, which I believe. I just got to stop by and taste it for myself.
Oh my goodness, Byron, we're going to feed you, buddy.
I've got to experience this. So the mission of helping others help themselves has evolved over the years since 1885. Kind of share some of that, if you will.
Well, it has. I mean, our society really had so many restrictions. If you go back then, this is before women could vote. Wow. It's definitely before women could really earn a living outside of the home. And you fast forward to today, I mean, there's a pop-up market on every corner, you know, and there's everything you can buy from, you can lay in bed and buy these things from artists and makers, of course. Yeah. So, we're often asked, what makes it different now? Why is this still needed? And the true answer is that we're not just giving someone a shelf or space to come put product in there. We actually mentor and handhold, and we help provide resources, guidance, assistance, all types of education to our consigners, as well as help them network with one another in a very, very, very supportive environment.
Right.
So that is huge because we've got a candle maker who needed assistance with packaging. We've got people who got a huge online order outside the Women's Exchange, but they come to us to say, how the heck do I fulfill this? And I said, guess what? I've got hundreds of members right here who's going to show up and help you put stickers on things and stuff like that. So it's a whole network of support that goes far beyond just giving someone a space to sell.
Well, so what would you attribute this model of support for women and how it's been so sustainable and really timeless? I mean, we're talking since 1885. And what's unique about maybe even the Women's Exchange Memphis model, maybe compared to some other markets?
Yeah, many as the exchange happened, the movement happened and came down from Philadelphia through St. Louis and all that, moved to Memphis, later to New Orleans, on to Florida and everything. What you saw in each region was definitely what was regionally appropriate. Yeah. And but one of the things that they kept doing was having to find places to operate. And in Memphis, we have a fun history of telling people that we operated in the corner of the Peabody Hotel lobby. It hopped around to lots of different spaces and things where our members could create opportunities for the marketplace to exist. But then when they did the capital campaign and purchased the property on Racine Street, they followed a model that had been practiced in other women's exchanges of opening that tea room. And that tea room was to be able to make sure that they knew this was not an exclusive place. It was an inclusive place for people to come eat and enjoy and lure them in. Because sometimes your shopportunity doesn't get you somewhere, but a good meal will. So we bring them in for that. So that's a model that a lot of women's exchanges do have. But in our Memphis facility, it's particularly interesting because of our our location is right in the middle of the city.
Yes.
We have parking. Byron, we have parking.
You do have parking.
I mean, that's crazy. We have parking. We're great for groups that want to come in and just spend the day. So when we're open from 10 to 4, Monday through Friday, a lunch is only 11:30 to 1:45, but you can shop before. You can go to fun events afterward. We have art receptions and coffees in the afternoon. Coffee, which may I add, is actually from Ethnos Coffee and Coffee Central. We actually have their beautifully locally roasted beans and ground coffees for sale at the Women's Exchange as well. But we have wonderful local partners, and it's just an experience. You get to learn. You get to be inspired.
Yes.
There's a lot of beauty there.
So,
a lot of beauty.
Talk, if you will, about the legacy of the founding women and how that inspires the work that you do today.
So many of the people who have come before us, generations of women that came before us, they actually honored a little code of somewhat of anonymity because back then, like I said, social standards didn't allow for people to really make the money and all that. And you never wanted to vocalize the need of someone else. That's their private business, and what they need and why they hustle is a little different. Right. These ladies worked, and what I'll say in a thankless manner. They really and truly brought volunteerism to its core meaning, that they volunteered expecting nothing in return. Right. And we have people that have been members of our organization for decades now that come in every day, don their blue or red apron. They serve in our tea room. They keep up our grounds and our gardens. They work in our shop. They assist our guests. They deep clean. They do the not fun jobs too. But they're not expecting anything out of this. It's truly a sense of giving.
Yes. And
it's a sense of purpose that, I honestly say that you come to the Women's Exchange, you're going to get the hug you didn't know you wanted or needed. But it's a beautiful support system for women. We do have men and women coming in every day. I actually had a man the other day. He said he loves coming because it's a beauty pageant every day. So, there are gorgeous people inside and out that are coming in there and donating their time, bringing their talents there, and really, truly supporting one another.
Yeah. Are there some pivotal moments in the organization's history that really has shaped its current mission today?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I'll just go back to 1960 when, having an actual home, a true location. 3 homes, 3 little old houses were actually joined all together into one interesting home for the Women's Exchange. But doing that has made it everybody's home away from home. We even had Fireplace Fridays in the winter to everybody just hang around the fireplace and play your games and enjoy. We have Mahjong on Mondays still. But that was a pivotal moment. And then, it's just like everybody says, and then COVID. Well, COVID meant both good and bad things for the Women's Exchange. We couldn't let people come in to the Women's Exchange, but it actually showed Memphis how we could go to them.
Wow.
And whether it was our food going out into the public, it was all of the different ways that we served. And since COVID, we now conduct art camps for kids in the Binghamton area. We feed all types of things from first responders to other neighbors and people in need in our community. We do so much to just try to go beyond the walls of that space. It's our beautiful home we've had for 65 years, but we have the ability to really reach out, and it's a lot of fun. I honestly get contacted as executive director. I get contacted every day with new opportunities.
It sounds like you have to pinch yourself. I get to do this every day. I'm having this much fun.
It's amazing. I came in as a consignor. I mean, I've been a jewelry designer for most of my life, and I had a craft and a talent that I have loved, but it's been times where it was a career and times when it wasn't. And I was actually recovering from major surgery and in a more fragile time of life and in middle age than some people anticipate you'll ever end up in. And my friend just invited me to come have lunch in the tea room with her. And I am so guilty, Byron. I made a second lunch date for that day. I didn't even plan. I thought I was going to have my little tiny cup of chicken salad and a little piece of fruit. And so I thought I'd go eat some real food, a little meat and three somewhere else later in the day. But I got in there and I thought my grandmother had come back from the dead and was making those turnip greens in the kitchen. And the carrots and the turnip greens and the veggie plate and the little slices of white bread between your vegetables on the veggie plate. The things, congealed salads, I've even heard that people want us to bring back tomato aspic. I don't know what that's about. But anyway, traditional Southern stuff.
Yes.
But you come in there and within one lunch meeting with a friend, I was recruited to come and sell my jewelry there. Immediately, I had a whole entire network of people supporting not only my business and helping me pay those medical bills, but also supporting me as a person, taking an interest in the talent that I had, taking an interest of what I wanted to do for the Memphis community.
Yes.
And creating those opportunities. Well, so they haven't gotten rid of me yet.
I love it. So how do you select or connect with the artisans, seamstresses, and those who come into the Women's Exchange?
Well, and that's exactly it. I mean, we select and to some degree because we try to make sure it's a fit that will benefit them. So some people bring us artwork and talent and such that we just don't have the audience for. And so then it's our mission to find out where can we help get them connected and where can we give them that trampoline launch towards the next bit of success. But people come to us through referral all the time. Sometimes we scour some of the fun pop-ups and cultural vendor opportunities around town, and we just introduce ourselves and say, hey, did you know we even exist? Did you know that we could possibly help catapult your business?
Yes, and I think that's the thing. I think so many people don't realize you exist, or maybe heard about you at one time and don't realize that you're still a very thriving organization.
We're still here. And that is one of the things that I hear all the time. They're like, gosh, it's been forever since I've been to the Women's Exchange. And especially talking about the men, one of the first events that I held as a fundraiser was actually a men's night at the Women's Exchange, just to make sure people knew. And, we're famous for our heirloom children's clothing and all those beautifully hand-sewn clothes. But, I don't even have children myself. I can tell you there's so many other ways in which the Women's Exchange can serve you and where you can also contribute to this beautiful organization that is, in my opinion, meant to be in Memphis, needs to be in Memphis, and has the potential for a lot more longevity in the Memphis community.
This is great. So, Dena, talk about some success stories of women who you helped start, and maybe as they walked in, and you said maybe they were struggling in some way. You kind of shared your own personal story, through your health situation and how that really breathed life into your business and even into your own spirit by going in and having a support group of all these women. But maybe share one or two success stories that stand out to you,
Well, and they are so personal. I mean, when I go into the shop, I don't see products. I see the people behind the products, and I see the artists and makers because I've gotten to know so many of them so intimately. And Dee Dee Laughlin, our shop manager that's been there for years, really nurturing and almost mothering some of these folks to be able to give them the encouragement and support to move on. Back in last September, there was a Memphis Pizza Festival. I don't know if you recall. It was a first-year festival out at the Agri Center, and it was supposed to be indoor. But the last minute, the whole festival was punted to the parking lot, and it was 95 degrees or hotter, I guess, that day.
Yeah.
And I kept watching this one lady at a booth, and she had a table, and I couldn't tell what she was doing. She had a smile on her face all day, but I didn't know what she was up to. And so finally, I walked over to her tent, and I said, "What's going on? You're not making pizza?" And she said, "Oh no, I actually paid to be a vendor here to sell my wax melts." And she goes, "They work. They melted." And so she was a candle maker and wax melts and things as far as her product line.
Yeah.
But when she was forced to be in a tent outside in that heat, all of her product that she had spent hours making had melted. So I pulled my business card out and I said, "If you've never heard of the Women's Exchange, look into it. Let's connect. I'll call you later in the week." Well, I walked into work on Monday. She had already beat me there. She was already inside, and she had her candles, and she had her stuff. And immediately we started just getting involved. We actually did a co-branding candle line that are co-branded as Glow and Glisten and the Woman's Exchange. And we've been working toward all kinds of e-commerce opportunities and various other ways to help grow her business.
Wow.
And again, working on sourcing for packaging and all that. It's much more challenging. This year's economic world climate and import climate has really affected a lot of independent artists and makers with their supplies. In fact, that's why this weekend we're doing a craft supply swap. We're trying to bring in all these wonderful materials that people can get at pennies on the dollar just to be able to have more materials to work with this time of year.
Yes.
And, working towards our big fundraiser, the Christmas shop. That brings in lots of new consigners every year. We definitely promote that a little bit more. You hear those coffee beans being roasted in the background? I love the sound of a coffee bean grinder. Yeah. Thank you, Coffee Central. We can smell it too. But the events that we do all are centered around that individual maker. And that's why, Byron, we're not the Women's Exchange. We're the Woman's Exchange.
Woman's Exchange.
It's about that one woman. Yeah. You're focused on trying to help that individual artist, maker, seamstress, craftsperson really thrive in that and feel supported.
Yeah.
And ultimately generate the real income that people need.
So, Dena, talk to that person listening right now who is a hobbyist, a part-time creator. How do you help that person become a full-fledged entrepreneur?
Well, first off, tell them their work is great. It is good enough. Everybody is their own worst critic of their own stuff. People, nobody will ever buy this. Or I don't know that I want someone to tell me how to do what I do. I don't want to be a sellout for what's this year's trend.
Right.
Yeah. It's not about appealing to all the masses. It's about expressing yourself through your art and your craft.
Yeah.
And if you find a place like the Women's Exchange that already celebrates that and that understands it, then you're walking into a very open door of an opportunity that we can help you match the talent, the skill, your style preferences, and the way that you execute your craft. And we can help you find that audience that wants to buy it and hopefully handhold. I mean, that support alone is very different than going out door to door trying to sell wholesale to a retail store.
Yeah.
That's why our consignment model, people hear consignment and they think it's all resale of used products. We're brand new, handmade, handcrafted, top quality merchandise.
Yes. The
difference is we call it consignment because for every dollar we're bringing in, we're giving 70 cents of that right back to that consignor. And so the Women's Exchange doesn't own this merchandise. We love on it until it finds its new home. We help it get adopted, And
I think brings us to a great point, too. So often we're looking for that unique gift for a birthday, a wedding gift. an anniversary. We're looking for something, and there's all the same old that we get time and time again. When you're looking for something new and creative, Women's Exchange would be a great place to shop, right?
It's absolutely the best place. I keep talking about these men, but because I'm talking to a man right here. Byron's in front of me. He's inspiring me to tell these stories. We've got some gentlemen that have been eating with us in our tea room for a while now, and they got the courage to ask us if we sold things made by men. And we said, well, that depends what you got. And they came in with walking canes that were made out of golf clubs.
Really?
And they had taken very unique care, beautiful artistry with walnut wood and carved out and polished beautiful grips around the drivers and the putters and all this stuff, and then made all these extra contraptions and very high functioning but good looking products of these walking canes made out of golf clubs. And, it was just so inspiring. And then, you look around the room and things that just like, wow. Did you know that you needed a microwave bowl holder? You probably didn't have that on your list, but do you know how great life is when you've got this beautifully hand-sewn thing that your hot bowl comes out of the microwave and it puts straight in that bowl holder? Yeah. And then when you go and you sit in front of that TV and whatever, you're not burning your lap. I mean, it's knickknacks that just make life better. Yeah. But that was hand-sewn by someone in her 90s.
Wow.
Who is taking care of her husband, who's taking care of children, who cannot work outside the home. And yet you've just helped put that meal on her table while you're working on making your own meal to go in that microwave.
See, Dena, you just put things in perspective when you share really a story like that. And I'm sure that gets replicated over and over again for other folks who can't work outside the home, who need an opportunity to make income and want to do it and have some great skills and whatever. And they can bring that to Women's Exchange. Okay, so Sister to Sister, I know, is one organization that you guys help support and help them in their mission. What are some other Memphis-based causes or nonprofits that you partner with or help support regularly?
Yeah, and through Coffee Central and Ethnos Coffee, they benefit Sister to Sister, so that's why we sell those coffees as well. They're in Binghamton, so they're a neighbor of ours. We actually love partnering with other organizations. That was that children's summer camp I talked about. Mm-hmm. That's Icon Ministries, Club Nathan, that's right there. Yeah. Willie Baldwin and his crew, they put on a phenomenal children's camp every summer. And being able to bring in professional art teachers to do 21st century art skills, to teach kids not just how to make a piece of art, but it's got an entrepreneurial spin about how to then in turn sell that art and make money and monetize and grow businesses out of that. That's a huge part of our focus. Of course, we feed them good meals throughout the art camp and all that. Yeah. But, that's been a fabulous partnership these last couple of years. We have businesses like the Soap Factory in Midtown. We've got Sweet Lala's. We've got other female-owned businesses around Memphis that we at Coffee Central that we collaborate with, so that we're the magnitude of our impact is growing, and we are able to create jobs that way. And you don't think of it directly, but it's a very indirect truth that if we can, we partner with an organization. We sell the travel bags for Outside In. It's a organization in Troy, Tennessee, a little rural part of town that. They started this industry of selling travel gear and travel bags specifically to help with homeless problem in their area and to help with recovery programs for the women in that area. And this year they were actually even starting up their residential facility to do that. So having the privilege of putting that product in there and letting people know that when they get a great looking backpack and a tote bag that they are truly giving someone a home. I mean, it's an impact well beyond the average thing. So it's shopping with a purpose, but it's also the quality of the stuff. I mean, Byron, it's good stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been called a tastemaker. I wouldn't call myself one. But I do call myself the CFO, the Chief Food Officer. So I can tell you that our food's really good. But, as far as the selection and what you're coming in and what you get, I mean, people have known for years that the heirloom children's clothing that we sell in our christening gowns and those day gowns and little bubbles for babies, you're not going to get a better quality item.
Right.
Those are the reasons they're passed down generation to generation, and they are heirloom quality. But that's the truth about everything. The local art and that's showcased in our tea room on a rotating basis right now. I mean, these are some of the top name artists in the whole city of Memphis, and they're working with us because they love our mission.
Yes.
And because they want to be able to showcase their artwork, but then also give a leg up to the others that really need it. So whether you're a first day entrepreneur, I think back to your original questions, how do you encourage and how do you speak to those people that don't know if they want to do this?
Yeah.
A huge part of a business plan is, your product service, your pricing, promotion. Huge part of that too is your place. Like what outlet and what avenue are you going to choose to sell your goods? Yeah. And that's a huge decision for a lot of people. And, whether we're the place for that type of product or not, we're definitely the people that can help connect you with that.
Yeah.
And so, we invite those people.
I was going to say, I think the first step is to show up, to walk in the door, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And find us online. We're weofmemphis.org, weofmemphis.org. And there's a little bit of overview about our shop. There's ways to contact and emails and forms to fill out if you want to just kind of do it a little softer. I always tell people, and we're on social media. So whether it's Facebook, Instagram, We of Memphis, the We Memphis, and you're talking to me if you're going to Facebook or going to Instagram. So hey everybody out there, I promise we're nice. We try to be. And so what you're doing is you got to tell somebody what you want.
Yeah.
Tell somebody what you want. Tell what you want out of it. Have a goal. I had somebody that made cheese straws, and they came in and let me sample their cheese straws. It took about 2 seconds for me to say, I want to sell those. And, but then the bigger part of it is the conversation quickly went to, well, how many cheese straws are we trying to sell? What's our goal?
Yeah.
How many do you want to make?
Yeah.
What's your supply?
Right.
And she was like, oh, gosh, I work a full-time job. I have children. I have this. I have that. And she goes, can I only make cheese straws every other week? And I said, honey, if that's all the bacon you want to do, that's fine with us.
Oh, wow.
It'll work.
Yeah,
so,
you can accommodate.
Oh, and let me tell you, it built a demand for them, too, because you sell out of those cheese straws, and everybody wants to know when they're coming back.
Eventually, she's going to quit her job and give all of her time to cheese straws.
That's what I'm trying to get her to do.
Exactly. Yeah. Dena, this has been great. Again, the Women's Exchange in Memphis. What a great, best-kept secret in town, really. I mean, folks need to know about this. And you're located, you mentioned 88 Racine Street here in Memphis. Well, we're in South Haven right now, but we know in the area. Right off of Poplar Avenue, kind of in between Poplar and that's Walnut Grove, right?
It
On
is.
the other
It's
side?
between Poplar and Walnut Grove, right before what they call the viaduct right there. And it's everybody, it seems like in town that traverses Poplar Avenue has a kind of idea where Amro Music is,
Yes.
just a half a block off Tillman. And we are between the piano showroom and the Amro Music major showroom. That little tiny street that's in between is where you turn.
And lunch is 10:30 to 1:30.
11:30.
11:30
to 1:45.
Okay.
But
Just straighten
hey,
it.
let's not correct anybody. Let's just let you get in there early because we're open at 10. So
Yeah.
why don't you come in and shop a minute
Yeah.
before you eat?
So the hours again are?
10 to 4, Monday through Friday. And then on our social media, on our Sunday email newsletter that people might want to subscribe to, and on our website, we do advertise all of our other special events because we do things in the evenings.
Yeah.
We sometimes do a breakfast. We do some weekend events, just like the craft supply swap and things like that we might do on the weekend. We have a whole event center. We have an event space
Yeah.
on the one end of the building.
And the website would be a great place to go.
It really
and
is.
keep up with everything,
Absolutely.
too.
So that's weofmemphis.org.
Okay. Dena, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate you stopping by.
Well, this was fun. And South Haven Coffee Central is the place to be anyway.
It is the place to be. Friends, we are here at Coffee Central South Haven, full-service coffee house right here located in the heart of Snowden Grove. We're at 5627 Get Well. Tina Tatum and her crew have been so hospitable for us to bring the shows here from Coffee Central. That's going to wrap it up for us today right here on Mid-South Viewpoint on Bite Radio Network. Thanks for stopping by. I'm Byron Tyler, and we'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye.